How you going, people? Man, that's a pretty good one. You can tell these guys are plain clothes, so they're probably working street teams, gangs, task force. This is how most of the time we ran around, partner up, go in these neighborhoods and end up getting in a foot chase. I'm assuming they saw this guy and chased him in a house. He has a warrant. There's no details about it, but that's just what I'm getting here. And now he doesn't want to go to jail, and they're surrounded by uncooperatives, people trying to get to doctor school and read their doctor books, and these guys are interrupting their doctor studying, so reasonably they'd be upset. And this is how things get really bad really quick, and cops don't realize that they're outnumbered, or they're surrounded, or they're almost setting themselves up to get in a shooting situation. Let's take a look at this.
Hey man, y'all better chill the fuck out, dude.
Okay, so another plainclothes guy comes in here.
Go!
People are bailing out of the house. They've shut the door and locked it, so he has to kick it. He goes for his gun. I'm assuming he knows that there are two officers in there saying we need cover. So he's going in. And I remember I told a crazy cop story where I had to follow a guy into a house because he went in when he shouldn't have, and they end up suing us. And the county ended up paying him off. And, I mean, I had no choice but to follow him in. He was in danger. This cop, even if those guys entered illegally or they're doing something wrong, they call for help. He's entering to help them. He's not liable for anything he does. I mean, obviously he can't go in there and shoot kids, but I mean, he's not liable for unlawful entry or violating anybody's Fourth Amendment or Fifth Amendment or First Amendment, whatever rights you want to say he's violating. He's not, because he's acting on exigency. There's officers in there screaming for help. Now, I know a lot of you don't want to hear that. You got bootleg cops out there just doing what they want. Look, you got to protect other cops when they call for help. So you show up and you do what you need to do to try to stabilize and figure out what's going on. So this guy's kind of going in blind, but he's also covered by, limited immunity, because he's acting in good faith that these officers need help, and he has to make entry on that exigency. All started over somebody circling somebody's doctor's book and messing up the page on where he was studying. Outrageous. Okay, so he grabs somebody in handcuffs and takes her out. And these guys might have said she needs to go. So probably what happens, they handcuffed her. When they went to handcuff this guy, the crowd started coming in, which normally happens. When you're in places where people ain't got nothing to do but sit around and study their doctor books, when a cop show up, it's very easy for them to put down their doctor's book and say, let's take a break and go see what the cops are doing. And that's how you get these quick crowds gathering, and you've got all these people in this house that probably don't even live there. You got the guy filming, probably not involved, came from 2 streets over, and now all of a sudden you have a bunch of numbers. Then you have that mob mentality to where they start trying to lynch. And lynching is removing an in-custody suspect from law enforcement. It's not the racist lynch that everybody, oh, you can't say that. That's the L word. Whatever. It's in the penal code. The government says you can say it because it's a crime. Anybody thinks his gun exposed a little bit? Sorry, I tried to click like YouTube to stop it and it expanded it. So his gun, when he's fighting, both hands are tied up. That's when your gun is the most exposed. And this happens a lot when you're undercover because, you don't have your gun belt on, you don't have the triple thread holster, you're running around, running and gunning, whatever you want to call it, and you're just going after bad guys, so you want to be light and whatever. I know there's going to be some officer safety stuff. He should have whatever.
Hey, y'all tweaking in here.
So this guy right now is technically, one, he's interfering. Two, he's attempting a lynching by removing this guy from police custody.
Hey, y'all ain't got no warrant. Fuck them up? No.
This guy isn't even handcuffed. They're just hanging on to him, and he's standing up. This guy's on his knees. The other guy's grabbing him. This guy's pulling this cop off. They should be putting out a Code 3 cover because they are losing and they are not in control, and their guns are exposed. And any one of these people that are there could be getting a gun, weapon, bat, knife, needle, any stabbing instrument, a multitude of things to take these officers out. But this is a pretty serious situation. When things get this serious like this, you start using, I started using much more extreme force. You need to be elbowing people in the face, punching out their teeth, throat punching, kicking them in the groins. This is all out battle to stay alive and to stop this. And if you don't do it quick, you'll lose control quick. These guys are lucky.
Hey, lock the doors and fuck them up.
Fuck them up. Fuck them up.
Hey, close that door. Lock that door.
Hey, lock that door. Okay, we call that a clue. When you're outnumbered and the people in the house are saying lock the door, you better start doing something quick because you're losing and it ain't getting any better.
Y'all ain't got no warrant, folks.
They sure don't got no warrant.
Okay, so they're saying they don't have a warrant. They don't need a warrant. Hot pursuit is an exigency. I'm pretty sure they either chased this guy in this house. He ran in and said, "Oh, King Zed, I'm in my house. You can't touch me without a warrant." Not true. If the pursuit starts outside in a public place, you can chase him wherever he goes. Hot pursuit exception, exigency, whatever you want to call it. You don't have to stop chasing somebody once you start chasing them. So they're in there legally and lawfully. Or they could have been doing a probation search and said, "Hey, that's Tyrone. We got a felony warrant for him. Let's snag his ass." And they went over to arrest him, and then it started.
Hey, y'all ain't got no warrant. Hey, let him go, folks. Let him go, folks. Take bitch ass out.
Finally, this dude realizes, they've locked the door. We're outnumbered. Their conversation and talking, and he needs to articulate this later. Their conversation and communication led me to believe that they were planning on hurting us, taking away our guns, doing something. It was getting bad. He drew his gun. Some people say he's not justified. My gun would have probably been out earlier and said, "Somebody's going to catch around if you come over here because I'm going to think you're trying to take my gun." But finally, this guy gets his gun out.
Fuck up. Hey, back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up.
Everybody see him laser the other cop? "Rick, you can't laser. He needs more training." It happens, people. His finger's not on the trigger. He's got to do what he's got to do. He comes across the guy and the other guy and lasers him. Everybody be panicking. "Oh my God, he pointed the guy at us. Oh, it's scary. It's a loaded gun." Y'all be quiet, you big crybabies.
I ain't leave you. Hey, I ain't leave you. I want you to let that bitch blow. I want you to let that bitch blow. Yeah, let it blow. Let it blow. Do it.
Let it blow, meaning he wants him to shoot. Fire your gun.
Let that bitch blow. Let that bitch blow. Blow that bitch. Blow that bitch. Blow that bitch. Shoot that bitch. Don't you scared? You're not scared.
So even now that they have him in custody, he's got his gun out, and there's two of them. They're blocking the door, and the door is locked. So these guys are trapped. Okay, so all these guys need to go to jail for false imprisonment and kidnapping. They have stopped and obstructed these guys from leaving. I know, I'm a bootleg, big gut. Well, look, man, when you're catching a bad guy, you just can't let other bad guys run your scene. So everybody be going to jail if this was my call, and you can call me what you want.
You scared? What you scared? Blow that bitch. We want to see you blow that bitch. Hold on. We ain't scared of no guns. Blow that bitch. You got your hand on the trigger. What's your name? What is your name? You have no warrant. You have no warrant.
Okay, you hear the banging and kicking? They've locked the door, and other cops are trying to get in. So these guys are pretty much what I call just kind of stabilizing. You know what? We're okay right now. We're in a position. We got our guy. I've got my gun out. Nobody has a weapon. I don't care. We'll just freeze this scene. We'll stay where we are, and we'll make them escalate until our cover gets here. So I think these guys are doing okay. Been in this situation many times. I think they're okay. I'd have probably been doing about the same thing. I wouldn't leave my partner to go unlock the door. I'd let my other guys kick the door. He left him. I probably wouldn't have done that.
Damn the damn door, folks.
I got it!
Get out, get out.
Now, then when sirens are coming, everybody's bailing. Because, you know, they have to return their books to the library and they don't want to get a late fee. So they're running out the back and jumping fences. They figured out we can get away with this, but they know once the Calvary gets called in, everybody's going to jail if you're there. So those guys beat feet.
Open the door! Police! Get back up!
I ain't in there.
Get that now!
So these cops are coming in with a vengeance because they probably got the call. Look, we need code 3. We're getting our ass whipped. We're outnumbered. They're trying to steal our suspect. We got 2 in custody. We need help now. And everybody dropped their donuts, spilt their coffee, and took off.
Now, lay down like this stuff. Lay the fuck down. What's back here? Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Alrighty. So I'm okay with pretty much what these guys did. Again, I'm guessing, but I'm telling you, that's how these things happen. See a guy on the street, yo, dude, you got a warrant. I recognize you. Boom, the chase is on. You're chasing him. He runs in a house. He tries to slam the door. You either get your foot through it or you kick it right after he slams it. You chase him inside, and you don't know what. I tell a crazy cop story where I chased that one guy and ended up, you know, having a guy call 911 because I chased him so damn long I didn't even know where the hell I was at. So by him dialing 911, I knew at least they'd have the address. But anyway, this thing happens when you're chasing and out there running and gunning, so I'm okay with what these guys did. I know my cop haters will be here. You're just taking the cop's side. You're a boot jackhammer, cop loving. Be quiet, you big crybabies. I call it like I see it. All right, well, then that there.